good and evil, right?
Yeah.
It's like then Islam and Christianity have, varying definitions of good and evil.
I think
for
in
example,
most cases they are very similar. In most cases.
I'll be honest here, me personally, I mean no disrespect to any Muslims or anyone watching or whatever, but I don't believe your Prophet Muhammad is a good moral example. I don't believe it.
Okay, do you believe any of the prophets of the Old Testament? Okay, wait. Do you believe any of the prophets of the Old Testament?
Moral example.
Do you believe any of the prophets of the Old Testament have a good role model?
Not perfect, no.
So no one is a good role model.
No one's perfect.
Not Abraham, not Samson, not David, none of them.
David definitely not perfect. If you know anything about David in the Bible, you know definitely.
Why God chose them?
Did God establish a covenant with Abraham?
Of course he did.
Yes. Wow. Was Abraham a perfect man?
He was not perfect, no.
So why would God listen to this? If
God is back to the discussion you had with my father last week, right?
Yeah.
When
if
you
God
brought up Lot and then he brought up Muhammad, and then you couldn't justify.
No, but that's what I'm telling you. You guys have prophets in your Old Testament, which probably did much worse than anything you can bring up about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, but yet listen to this.
I say
this question
equally as worse.
This question, even your dad didn't answer. I'm hoping you will answer.
Which one?
Why would God establish His covenant with these sinners?
Pretty sure my dad did answer you on that.
What was the answer?
I can't remember.
You should listen to your dad.
That's a good point.
Okay, what would be your answer?
They were men of faith in a time when faith wasn't prevalent.
Yeah, but
for example, Noah.
But God knew that. God knew that they were men of faith. Yeah. God also knew of their atrocities and of the bad things they have done.
Yes.
But in fact, God told them to do it.
But
Listen. This is a key point. Yeah. God told them to kill those women and children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. Because
listen.
When we're going to Christian
when you say Christian, you need to realize that Old Testament came from the same God of your
Christ. Of course.
Okay.
But
whatever is sanctioned in the.
What you need to understand is that in the Old Testament, it's a very different time when the whole of the human race was covered in sin. There was no. This is going to go into the argument of atonement again.
No, it's not only atonement. You need to understand that sin today is probably far greater than back then.
100%.
Okay.
Well,
after Jesus Christ dying for you, it's got worse.
No, I completely take that back.
I understand.
Not far greater. I'd say sin has been equally as.
No, I think it's far greater. With
the
internet, look what happened with the internet today. The amount of pornography that has spread today. The amount of pornography that has spread today with this mass media, I don't think in the past they had this ability.
No.
They didn't have this ability. Today at your fingertips, all the sins are there.
But then, for example, in previous times, right, we had times when people marrying and having sex with minors was acceptable. As your prophet may or may not have done.
You mean as?
It's still happening now, but it's not as
in that case,
not as culturally acceptable as it used to be.
It is in the US.
No, listen.
Not as widely.
By the way, you said culturally acceptable. Was it culturally acceptable back then?
In certain cultures, it was culturally acceptable.
No, I'm talking about the culture in which Prophet Muhammad and the Jews and other Christians who lived.
That doesn't make it morally morally acceptable.
Okay, so
just because a culture.
So let me get this. Let me get this right. Girls in that time used to get married at a very young age.
Yes.
You're aware of that?
100%.
Yes.
I'm from India. It happened there as well.
Okay. No, but we are not talking about. I'm talking about the Judeo-Christian faith.
Yeah.
Yes. Mary herself, according to the historians, got pregnant at the age of 12. Was it wrong of God to do it? To make a really young girl pregnant? Was that morally wrong of your God?
No.
Why? Because it comes in your faith?
There's a fairly large difference between the ages of 12 and let's say 6 to 9.
No, but it's a 12. Would you allow any of your 12-year-old niece or, I don't know, daughter or anyone to get pregnant?
Me personally?
Yes.
No, I would not.
Why?
I would not, because there's a 99.99999% probability that is very unlikely that they're either physically or mentally or emotionally capable of doing it.
Okay.
The reason I say 99.999 is because there is a very small chance that someone at the age of 12 is developed enough to do that.
So you believe?
I believe that probability then dissipates when you go to the age of 9, 8, 7.
That's fine. So you morally
scientifically proven.
NHS disagree with you.
No, that's fine. Okay,
that's
fine.
fine.
Let's forget that now.
The NHS will
we are not
abortions that
we don't want to get sidetracked with any technical issues. As long as you say it is morally wrong, yes. But for your God, it wasn't morally wrong.
I didn't say it was morally wrong. I said in the majority of cases.
Also, it's morally right then.
It can be morally right.
But in the case of Muhammad, it's wrong. But in the case of Mary, it's right.
No,
do you see the double standards?
It's not double standard.
It is.
You have to understand, right?
Why is it not double standards? Please tell me.
During the years of puberty, for example, right?
Yeah.
A lot of changes happen in the body very rapidly, right? It's not scientifically proven that puberty can really start that early. For example.
Oh, it is actually.
No.
It is.
Hold on.
There are many pregnant girls at that age.
But she was prepubescent because she played with toys.
No. She was. Are you saying that girls 12 years old don't play with toys?
No.
Seriously.
That's straw man, isn't it?
It's not straw man.
It is. No. It is.
In fact, the reason. Wait.
Toys.
In fact, the reason Prophet Muhammad waited until the age of 9.
Yeah.
Yes, and did not consummate at the age of 6.
But I'm saying
Wait a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. Is so that she becomes pubescent. And once, according to the definition of NHS, once a girl reaches the age of puberty, she's no longer a child. So anyone who says a child is someone who has reached the age of puberty don't know what the definition of child is. Now wait a minute. Now, the important thing is this. In Islam, it's not just puberty, by the way, for your information. It's not just the age of puberty, it's also the mental
capacity.
But it has to be.
The mental readiness for you to be ready. Not only no, it doesn't have to be. Not only that you are biologically ready, but you should also be mentally ready in Islam. Yes, and if you look today. By the way, this is going into anachronism.
No. But listen.
What you're doing is you're getting into anachronistic arguments because at that time, none of Muhammad's own Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his own enemies did not object to it. You know why? Because at that time it was perfectly normal. If you look at the book, Isaac married a 3-year-old according to your Bible. A 3-year-old Isaac. Many of the the Jewish scholars, for them it's okay to get married at the age of 3 and one day. Okay, so no point trying to discuss something which is anachronistic, and no point discussing that for married is okay to get pregnant at the age of 12, but for Aisha to get married after she's grown. Actually, you know what Aisha radiallahu anha said? I am a woman.
Let me know when you're done.
When she got married. I was a woman when I got married. This is Aisha's own testimony.
At 6, though, she got married.
Yeah.
Did she get married at 6?
100%.
Carry on.
Hashim, did she get married at 6?
Yes.
And then sex at 9.
Consummation of marriage at the age of 9.
She was a woman at 6 when she got married. Is that what you're saying?
She said.
And
When I got
this
married,
is the
I'm a
exact
woman.
point I was
Listen to this. Your definition of a woman might be different.
I'm just clarifying. You said that when she got married, she said, I'm a woman. Is that at 6?
When she got
married.
when she consummated the marriage,
said married.
when she consummated the marriage, she knew that she was a woman already.
Now, I have a question. Would you agree that a woman should be mentally ready before she is married?
Yes. Mentally and physically.
6-year-old.
Mentally and physically.
6 when she got married.
Or the 12-year-old.
You have to understand.
You know-
Massive difference between 6 and 12. Huge.
Okay, what is the difference? He's a 12-year-old according to you, a girl. You said you wouldn't agree your niece to get pregnant.
You should have seen me when I was. I'm a guy, yeah, but when I was 12, I was this tall. I was big. I probably could have taken down
No,
a
but
15-year-old.
the question is that
When I was
would you?
when I was 6,
I agree.
kids,
But listen,
my mom would cry if I lost
listen
my
to this.
mom.
Would your mom would have agreed for you to get married at 12, even though you're this big?
Now,
No.
Why no?
No.
Why no?
I told you.
Why no?
Scientifically speaking, probability-wise, right? The odds of me being ready for marriage or sex at the age of 12.
Guys, I'm sorry. You're disturbing the microphone here.
The odds of
Yes, because we can't hear 4 discussions.
The odds
yeah?
of me being ready for marriage or sex at the age of 12 are far higher than me being ready at the age of 9, and far, far higher than at the age of 6. In fact, I would say it's borderline impossible at the age of 6.
Okay.
And that is something that we should be able to agree
First
on.
and foremost, when you say marriage, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Entering into a monogamous relationship for life with a member of the opposite sex.
A man and a woman.
So basically, you didn't say sex. Why? Why you didn't say sex?
Marriage doesn't equal sex. Whatever partner is
Exactly,
incapable-
thank you very much. But you're saying every question of yours, I agree, every question of yours when it came to Aisha was with regards to sex.
No, but
marriage is anonymous.
Have you realized that? Have you realized that?
No, but I also,
Whether she's...
Uncle, I also
Yes,
asked
yes,
you
yes.
What?
if a woman has to be mentally ready before she can be married. I did ask you that question
Yes,
as well.
I told you
She
yes.
was
Did I
ready
not?
We weren't talking about sex
Did I
at that
not
point.
say
I
yes?
acknowledge the difference between
Okay.
the ages of 6 and 9 and the events that happened at both of those ages.
Yeah. For you to understand, what you're doing is you are now getting into anachronistic. You're judging something from 1400 years, the culture of that time, the period.
Of course, because
Listen,
I've been
let me
around
finish.
these
Let me finish
addictions.
my statement. You're judging it by today's standard.
Yes.
Yes, first and foremost, that is wrong. Because at that time, children as young as 14, 15 years old, they used to be the commanders in the army. Can you imagine a teenager today being a commander in the army?
I come from a Punjabi background, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about today.
One of the gurus was 7 years old.
I'm talking about today, not your guru's time.
Today's society.
Yes, your guru's time might be 600,
Yeah, I know,
700 years
what,
old.
What I'm trying to say is I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so when you judge,
this is
listen,
when you have
when
to-
you judge a period of time, yes, and every Christian brings up the young marriage of Aisha.
Modernism.
I know for you there is a moral problem because your liberalism doesn't allow you to. But as far as I know,
It's because
listen.
I believe that morality is objective and you guys
So
believe
show
it's
me in your Bible
subjective.
what is the age of marriage.
But Hashim,
Show me that. You don't have it.
In today's
You don't have
Sub-Saharan
it.
He's
Africa, bro,
anachronistic in
in
judging
today's Sub-Saharan
men
Africa,
by now.
they
By the way,
still
are you-
practice.
are you a
There are
Christian?
tribes who are practicing
However-
today.
However,
No, are they wrong?
What's that got to
Are they
do with
wrong?
it?
It has a lot to do.
No, no.
Who are you telling them?
Because
Islam-
for me,
Because you
for
are
me abortion
developed
is wrong,
and
but
you
for you it's
are-
okay.
But wait,
You got modernized?
You don't know what kind of person I'm.
I'm asking, look, it's a very
You told me you're an atheist.
Sub-Saharan in Africa today
Say that. I
practice
didn't- I
this.
said I wasn't Christian.
morality.
Are you okay
Is
with
it
abortion?
objective or
Are
subjective?
they immoral
Can I just
to you?
say
Yes.
that
Let me have
I
one
believe
discussion if you don't mind.
objectively
Bro, let's have one discussion. Okay. So let me ask you this. According to what, I don't know, moral compass you're judging Muhammad's marriage?
Moral can't be objective. Moral means different
Maybe not for
to
you.
different people.
Maybe not
You
for
believe
you.
morality is subjective?
Yes.
Okay.
My moral compass is different to yours.
You believe it's different, but I
It
believe
can
I
be.
believe that there is a correct moral compass.
But if it should be,
No, but that's-
His opinion, your opinion.
at the time of the Prophet, it's the best.
This is a good
But
argument
best-
to have, actually.
But it's true though. It's not. It's
the best
not,
model.
Like you're saying, it's
I don't
not
know, but the thing is, you believe your morality is correct.
Yeah.
I
We're
believe
not
mine is
obliged to
correct.
marry young
In the
women.
same way, Hashim believes that Islam is correct. I believe Christianity is correct. It's because
No, but that's-
one of us is actually correct.
Okay.
There is a definitive.
You know, you.
There's a third answer. None of you are correct. Why does it have to be what it?
I mean, obviously, we would both disbelieve that answer, but I mean,
You know, if we get into another discussion now with
Sorry.
a different ideology, obviously it's going to get even more lengthy. That's the reason I asked you, what is the age of marriage which is considered moral according to your Bible, not according to your opinion?
there is a verse in the Bible, but I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. There isn't a specific verse, but there is.
Is Paul speaking about deflowering a woman, a girl, or something?
No. It's
Yes.
in the Old
Are
Testament.
you aware of that?
It's in Ezekiel.
Are you aware of that? Not talking about the New Testament. Why are you going to the Old Testament now? Hello? I'm surprised you went to the Old Testament. In your New Testament, is there any passage which talks about the age of consent and at what age?
Not that I can remember. Right?
Okay, so on what basis are you judging Muhammad's marriage then?
Okay.
Based on your opinion?
Okay.
point.
Okay. How about this? Is pornography explicitly mentioned in either of our religions?
Yes.
Explicitly.
Yes.
No, as
Yes.
in video pornography. To go on your
No.
your
The term-
to go on
the ter-
this and watch some pornography.
No, you know, this is where you're, when it comes to the fact that you do not indulge in something which is reprehensible. Listen.
Some aspects,
Listen.
some aspects of morality are implicitly implied. They're implicit.
Okay, show me the implicit verse then. Go on. Show me the implicit verse, please.
As in, they.
I didn't ask you explicit, did I? Show me even the implicit verse from any passage in the New
So are
Testament.
you saying every single potential sin or crime is explicitly or implicitly mentioned?
It should be. Because if God prohibits something, yes, then he should have explicitly told you that this is prohibited. If he has not done that, then it's nothing but your opinion.
God's opinion is one wife, one man, one woman.
There are lots of prophets who have lots of wives. Okay, show me where Jesus says not to have more than one wife. He recommended one wife, which also the Quran does. But where did he say that you cannot have more than one wife?
So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Jesus did say you can't.
In fact, there are Jews who came to him and asked him what should happen to a man's wife.
Remaining,
If he's sorry, if he had what?
About 7 wives.
Yeah, if he had 7 wives,
He's gonna be
then we'll be with him in the hereafter. And there are passages in the Old Testament where God actually tells David that if these wives are not enough, I'll give you more. So God himself is encouraging polygamy in the Bible.
No, you can't.
Okay? So anyway, you know, there are two questions you were unable to answer. One is, will you judge based on the Bible? And because there is no punishment anywhere in the New Testament, you kept quiet. Second, I asked you about the consent
But it
of
doesn't-
age of
it
consent of
doesn't mean
marriage.
that those sins aren't still sins. It's implicitly implied. Because those sins required punishment in the Old Testament.
No, but the sin I asked you was was a repeat offender, a serial rapist. Okay? You cannot say a serial rapist.
there's no-
Even,
listen,
in fact,
I'm
you don't
telling
need to
you-
be religious to say that
telling you,
a serial
there's no-
rapist needs to be punished.
There's no explicit punishment mentioned for that crime
Even implicit. Show me what's the punishment.
Implicit is do until others that you would do.
Yeah, but what is the punishment? That is
implicit.
No, that's not a punishment.
So if you were X doing X crime, what crime?
Say again. Do unto others. No. Say the passage again.
If you are an offender of thought, what would you want?
No. Give me the passage again once more.
Oh, I have the passage.
You did. You said do unto others.
That you would do unto yourself.
Yes, but what is it about? It's about love.
Yeah.
It's not about punishing.
No. It's about everything.
It's about everything.
Also,
Love, respect, actions.
What about
etc.
something which is negative, like swearing at
It means
someone?
you should.
What do you swear back at them? If someone slaps you, do you slap back at them? It doesn't work like that, my friend. That's why I said it's about love, because he took it out of context. He's an atheist. That's why I told him, please tell me the passage, because he's quoting the Bible without understanding the
For
context.
example, if you say love each other as I loved you.
Exactly, that was a passage.
Yes, but what does love
Do not
imply?
twist it.
Your actions are.
Even though it's not the Quran, I don't want it to be twisted.
Your actions are indicative of your love or lack thereby.
Yeah, but we were not talking about the positive actions and the positive
But
treatment of your
therefore
fellow. I'm talking.
Your negative actions.
No, it's not
are-
negative.
are
To
indicative
punish
of your
someone
lack
is not
of love.
negative, my friend. To punish someone who deserves it is positive, in my book. Okay? The only way you can actually excuse that person is if it was something excusable. For example,
No,
if
that
they
person is excused
listen.
eternally,
In
but-
Islam, one of the punishments for stealing is cutting off the hand. That might seem very harsh to today's standard. You know, I met actually a judge from Saudi Arabia. He actually worked, I don't know, for 20, 30 years. And I asked him, how many cases have you come across
You have to get someone's hand cut.
where somebody's hand was cut off? You know what he told me? And I was surprised. He told me none. And I asked him, really?
In his time as a judge, there was no one that stole.
No, not that no one was stole. He told me that it is not that they did not steal. It is because the ruling to actually put this cutting off hand into practice, to manifest this punishment, is so stringent that no one met those 40 or more conditions that has to be met before the hands have to be cut off. So even though these
So you
punishments
have to- you
seem
have to do-
harsh,
you have to do more than just steal to get your hand cut off. There's 40 other
no,
conditions.
it's not only steal. It's not only stealing. It's in fact proving that he stole. The reason he stole.
Oh,
For example, if there is a famine and somebody steals food, there's no punishment for that person, because that is one exception where they're allowed, which is circumcision, they're allowed to. And this is exactly what is practiced in the courts. They look at circumstantial evidence and they actually pardon people. But you see, in Christianity,
So stealing doesn't require the cutting off of a hand.
no, in
straight up.
stealing requires 40 conditions to be met for the hands to be cut, for the hand to be cut off.
Stealing.
Okay? For the hand to be cut off. 40
example,
conditions
the-
which are so
So
stringent.
stealing in the famine, for example, is one of the 40.
Say again?
So stealing in the famine, for example,
No, stealing in a
one.
famine is an exception.
an exception.
Okay? And this exception doesn't have any
give me an
punishment.
example on the conditions.
I don't know. There are lots of, for example, the reason that the person stole, he should be of the right, what do you say? He should have the right reason and he should be in the right state of mind to steal. Or he might be someone who is just stealing, maybe he's not in the right state of mind. We can't blame that person because it's not his fault. Yes? That is one condition. Like I said, there are 40 and this is one of the least of it. Okay? So it's very difficult, some of these conditions, for it to be met.
And if we're going, well, what's the second?
Okay. What I'm telling you is that you see in Christianity it's so easy for everyone to believe that it is okay for a human like Jesus Christ to be punished for the sins of others, who is innocent. Now this is a complete flip to what justice is.
We've had this argument.
Yes, but
times now.
yeah, I know,
All of it on
but
video.
you talked about freedom of speech, you talk
Yeah.
about justice,
Yeah.
but
But
I want
I
you
didn't even get
I
to
want
my
you to
main point about
I
freedom
want
of
you to
speech.
reflect upon the
It's-
justice in Christianity.
But okay, let me finish on this.
Yeah, go on, finish your point.
My main point that I wanted to make on freedom of speech is that in Islam, the way I see it is that Muslims have more rights than the non-Muslims.
More wives.
More rights.
More rights.
More rights.
We talked about multiple wives earlier.
That might also be true.
That might also be true. as
Yeah.
well,
Are you guys jealous? I don't blame you.
but- Do you have multiple wives?
Well, I want one.
Your wife might be watching. Be careful. Man.
I'm okay with one mother-in-law for now.
But that's the implication of
What?
the lower boundary of freedom of speech.
Sorry, what was your point
My
again?
point is that non-Muslims have less rights than Muslims.
Okay, give me one example.
In terms
When
of
non-Muslims
their
have less right in an
Jizya.
Islamic country.
Jizya as
Well,
well.
we pay zakat.
They're not equivalent.
So how is it? How is it?
You pay zakat because of your religion. So if I'm not Muslim, why should I pay that same?
So you want to live scot-free in a country? Are you a tax avoider?
You're missing the point here.
That is not a religious tax on you.
It's like taxing someone and not taxing someone else.
Okay, here is the thing.
It's imposing a different tax on someone.
By the way,
just
you know the
because of their
zakat.
difference in
Listen.
ideology.
You know the zakat.
Yeah.
It is a form of tax. For your information, and I'll tell you why. You know, as a Muslim, I should actually be the one complaining because the
You pay more.
Why are you complaining? It's part of your religion. It's not part of mine.
Wait a minute.
So why are you
Wait a
complaining?
minute.
It's a
If you want to live in an Islamic country, do you have to abide by the law? Whose choice was it to live in that country?
Yeah.
It's your.
That's the state law. That's a different thing.
Exactly.
you were born
Well, the state law is the Sharia, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So the Sharia states that the Muslims pay the zakat, which is in fact more than the jizya on the non-Muslim men only.
Yes.
Do you know the zakat is on the men
Yeah.
and the women?
Yeah.
And the men and the women, listen, the men are not free from their duty to take part in the military.
I'm aware of all
So
that.
they will be
What-
they'll be conscripted.
Yeah.
But you, if you pay jizya, you're pardoned from the military duties.
Okay.
So don't shake your head there.
Now listen. The point
That
that
makes no sense.
the point that
If you look at it objectively, it might do. But because you have maybe some
objectively
prejudice,
fine. The point that you're missing is this: is a deeper
What?
implication of it.
Why?
That it's a discriminatory tax.
why do you think it's discriminatory?
It's discriminatory?
Why is it
The
discriminatory?
definition of to discriminate is to treat someone differently, right? Therefore, it is by very definition discriminatory.
Okay.
It is a